Alright, my bad, I'm back. Um, it's not
And
really
it was a
interesting.
trap. Make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room? If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the Red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything.
Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. Remembered the last words Zero had written on it. Must punish them? For the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered other words. Words he heard from Clover.
I think Zero is one of us.
Huh? One by one, Junpei looked at the other 5 people standing in front of him. Ace. Santa. June. 7. Lotus.
Zero is one of us? No. Wait, there's one more person. Snake.
Snake.
The man who died in the shower room isn't Snake. That means he's almost certainly still alive. Maybe Snake is Zero. Maybe he made Guy X wear his clothes so that we'd all think he was dead. Where's Snake now? What if he's off somewhere laughing at us? If he is Zero, he must have been lying to us about everything else. Is he watching us?
Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving?
It sounded as if he'd just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the
What
last
the
straw.
hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch! We're gonna leave your ass here to rot!
Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You bastard!
Seven forward and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. Someone else was faster. It was Lotus. Stepped towards Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his
Blindsiding me
nose.
with a punch, huh? You've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman.
He sniffled and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose.
Well,
with a
maybe
raised
you'd
eyebrow.
like another one then.
Before that, let me give you one of my own.
Huh?
Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. As they motioned, he reached into his coat pocket. There was a gun. The revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to the point at Lotus's head.
If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger. I've already killed 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4.
3 people? What do you mean?
Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. And with that...
Okay. Have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then,
Why is it stopping? God damn it! You lied! Open the door, please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Oh my god, oh my god! There's no time left! Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him! Ah!
I had 4 reasons for killing him. As I said before,
1.
in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. That's the second reason. Even
3.
setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information.
4.
Lastly, I wished to conduct a simple test. A test to see if this nonary game was serious, or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome.
I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago?
Didn't I say? The nonary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution.
Why? What on earth was it supposed to do?
I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that.
Ace smirked, trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. It was quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook.
What's with this gun? Where did he get this?
Why don't you tell her, Santa?
Santa ground his
Other
teeth and
side
glared
of
at
door
Ace.
6, we found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? The bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking.
Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying you intended to leave it behind.
Ace laughed a short, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickeningly pitying
There isn't much time left.
pitying look.
Well, where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus.
9 plus 8 plus 1 equals 18. 1 plus 8, 1 plus 8
Isn't
equals
there
9.
a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it?
And how do you know that?
Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover.
I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. Ah, and please, don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know.
As he spoke, Ace began backing towards the door, practically dragging Lotus
Shit.
behind him.
He's getting away!
But we can't risk it.
Junpei, Santa, June, and Seven stood frozen. He said the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace
Now,
hurried to the exit.
Lotus, open the door for me if you would.
Forced Lotus to open it, then turn and address them
Goodbye.
once more. He stepped through the door. It fell shut. Blink of an eye,
Damn
they
it!
were gone. As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others left for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was noise behind him. Looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor,
Hey!
breathing heavily.
June, what happened? Are you alright?
Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she
Jesus, you're
collapsed all the way.
burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay?
June's fever had returned again for no apparent reason. Eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow
I'm okay.
calm gasps.
Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus.
Breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the
But-
strength to talk. Junpei was torn, couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was further away, Lotus' life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei, she managed to unscrupulous
Don't
smile.
worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So please, please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's just gonna let her walk away?
Damn it. You guys go on ahead. Soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go!
Junpei looked at June. Not at once, she couldn't manage much more. It was all the confirmation Junpei needed.
All right,
was said.
come on, Seven. We're going after Ace.
Hell yeah!
Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Got it.
Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind, started running towards the door. Could hear Seven's heavy
Let's go.
footsteps behind him. Junpei and Seven spurted into the hallway, their feet pounding the floor as they ran. Junpei and Seven finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes scanned the room.
Where are they?
I don't see them.
You think they already went through?
He reached up to wipe a palm from his
Maybe.
brow. Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors.
Let's check the red.
Display panel read vacant. He went around and headed towards the smaller door. The red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room.
Engaged. It's occupied.
That means Ace and Lotus went through here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began
What
to
do
talk.
we do now?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but...
The two of us can't do anything with it.
Yeah, not even counting how our digital route isn't 9.
Just then as they were pondering what to do next, there was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick
What's
wooden
that
panel.
sound?
Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking for the source of the sound.
It's coming from over there.
It wasn't long before they found the altar. More precisely, what was in it?
The
What was on it?
coffin.
Yeah.
Let's open it.
How?
By force!
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Who said that?
I forget. Anyway, we've got to try.
Junpei and Seven lifted at the coffin, grabbed the whole of the purchase they could find, and pulled. Me at their Arby's.
Damn it!
See? Didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that?
Seven pointed at a keypad on the side of the coffin.
Right. So unless I put in the right passcode, it's not gonna open.
The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it had only gotten louder and more forceful. They were supposed to do.
Is there some sort of clue somewhere?
Stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke.
Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. What about it?
14, 38, 34,
Well,
27.
maybe that number's the passcode for this thing too.
Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe.
Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them.
That's ridiculous.
Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse.
It'd just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number.
How do you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Right back at you, son of a gun.
Who said that?
You.
Fine.
Knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. Perhaps because he'd repeated them so many times before, the number came in his mind.
3421.
21, 21 out of 27. Quickly he typed them in. 14, 38, 34, 21. Checked that he entered the right numbers and took a deep breath and pressed the E button. One took a moment.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
There's a click. Heard with a click. With a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone stood up from inside.
Snake! You? Why?
Ah, those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere?
Of course, there was no reaction. Snake wouldn't have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and Seven looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know about. They had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked in a coffin. Apparently, he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and Seven explained what had happened to the rest of them.
I see. I believe I got the gist of everything. Have I been sufficiently caught up?
No, there was one thing they kept from him. One thing, however, that neither Seven nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. He said kill Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane. Not that much by the look of it at the moment.
But that still doesn't explain why you were trapped in here.
We've still got no clue about Zero's true identity, let alone why the hell he's doing all this. Why did he put Guy X in Snake's clothes? Is all this stuff somehow related to that Nonary game that was played 9 years ago?
Hey, Snake, do you know anything?
Junpei put the question to Snake. Answer was less than illuminating.
What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying.
Seemed as though Snake was perhaps not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good.
Tell us if you know. I don't know what to tell you. How can I know something I don't?
No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear to Santa Snake wouldn't give in. Every second they spent asking him was a second wasted.
We're running out of time.
We need to go after Ace.
However, stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood at a loss for what they should do next. Glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet at Snake's wrist.
The 3 of us can't make a digital route of 9.
Yeah, we just get 5.
We're stuck here then.
Oh, hey, I just remembered something.
Seven began patting his pockets as he was checking to see if any of them held anything.
I found something earlier.
What did you find?
This.
Finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Pulled out something around and metal. A bracelet. No mistaking the number glowing at them from the face of the cartoon eye.
Zero's bracelet.
What did you say? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
His question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed Seven looked away.
Gave it to me.
She did?
Yeah.
How did she come by it?
Well, she found it. See, on the other side of door 1, A deck, the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around.
He's lying.
Junpei could tell right away that Seven wasn't telling the truth.
Earlier.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know. Well, I did borrow one thing.
He probably said that so Snake doesn't find out about Clover.
All right, Junpei. Been nice knowing you.
Wait, what?
7 plus 2 equals 0 equals 9.
I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the Zero bracelet gets picked up by the Red. Snake, give me a hand, all right?
Without waiting for a response, he started walking towards the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. For long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the two doors. Snake and Seven put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, Seven put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. Third asterisk appeared on the screen. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Plus 0 equals 9. Now they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open.
Huh? Why isn't it opening?
Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the Zero bracelet.
Maybe it isn't actually 0.
Huh?
What?
That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains.
Oh, got it.
Junpei nodded. Use the following combination. We'll do Snake and Junpei.
Let's try Snake, me, and the bracelet. If this combination works,
7.
then the number for this bracelet is 2.
It didn't open.
Guess it's not 2.
Then,
We try all of us.
let's try all 3 of us and the bracelet. If this combination
14,
works,
5.
the number for this bracelet is 4.
It didn't open.
Then this
Then,
Okay, me and Seven.
let's try me, 7, and the bracelet. If this combination works,
Equals
then the number for this bracelet
6.
is 6.
Scan in their bracelets.
It opened.
Yes, so it would seem.
Seven clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful, but rather confused. Snake was his usual calm and smug. Bracelet closed. Junpei's forehead
Means the
furrowed as he thought.
bracelet is actually 6. But how is that possible? The display on the bracelet clearly shows a 0.
Dune is 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard a creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came a sound of water pouring into the parts of the ship that had until recently been
That's
dry.
not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go.
But, Snake, are you sure?
Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now is not the time for last resorts, then when?
Last?
Resort?
I'm gonna run through. Let's outrun the ship. Junpei 7 and Snake ran full tilt down a long straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions.
Gotta
Seven
admit,
spoke.
really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
As I told you, it was a last resort. Had
Took
I
off his arm.
used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine that most people would have taken it to mean that I was 0. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I just take my bracelet off.
Snake's plan has been simple but effective. He simply removed his bracelet. How to Junpei it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand, until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so how had he done it?
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal
You know, so like, why is it... Even knowing these timelines, like, that's why I'm just like, why lead up... Why the semantics?
It's fake. It's not a real arm.
Why the theatrics? I'm drinking my tea, you can read that one.
This is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that's a fake arm.
You don't have to be afraid of the door if you don't got a bracelet.
You are correct.
He walked through the door easily without authenticating, stepped down the other side unscathed, and began running down the hall alongside Seven and Junpei. Kept running for a while longer and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. Stopped and peered down the staircase.
To the bottom deck.
Doesn't look like it's underwater.
They nodded quickly into one another and jogged down the stairs. Only a few minutes for them to make their way to the bottom deck. Single hallway in front of them, and at the end was a single door. Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it.
Incinerator?
Or incinerator?
Oh my. That doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over here.
How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so.
Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever.
Pull it, the door ought to open.
Got it.
He pulled the lever down. Rumble over an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back and no time to hesitate. Pushed the way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. Still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small, dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. Terrified. Perhaps more interesting was that Junpei saw behind them. 9.
What?
7-9 door.
Why? Why is there another one?
Door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. And his brain finally began to consider why. The whine of warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought.
Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
Terrifying smile twisted Ace's face.
Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame.
Who are you?
You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake.
Snake? Oh yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive.
His voice didn't change.
If you don't
Snake
mind
ground
my
his teeth.
asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7. The 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
What?
2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 4 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
Your reaction suggests that you did not.
Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet?
Oh,
Junpei felt his chest tighten.
they haven't told you?
Told me what?
Clearly not. Normally I would take some time and enjoy the moment. But I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover.
Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut!
Clover.
I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake.
Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. Ace looked at him. Corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile. Color left Snake's face, shook his head weakly.
That's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie.
Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see.
What?
I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her.
Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, molten red, rising to dot his pale skin. Tired body shook. He looked at Junpei, disturbingly like a demon.
I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance. That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
I'm going to kill you.
Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible.
What was...
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come now. I'm waiting.
Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head.
Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister?
Don't! The Snake!
Don't do it!
Snake could no longer hear him. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. Scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room towards Junpei, her eyes wide with terror.
Hurry! This way!
Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her. She made a run for it. Reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them.
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman. I need
He
her.
raised the gun.
Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door.
1 plus 8 plus 9 equals 18 plus 1 plus 8 equals 9.
I don't
Or
have
1 plus
time
8 equals
for
9.
your shenanigans.
So, in the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. It looked like a human larva, brown and vulnerable on the floor.
Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room.
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you.
Damn it!
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. Could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. Body tense, preparing for a catastrophic impact of the hot lead against human flesh.
Kill you.
And it happened. Snake stood up.
What? No, that's impossible.
For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward 1 step closer to Ace. Then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead.
Get back! Stop! If you come any closer, I'll... Get away from me!
Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. Continued his stiff and his honorable approach. His eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Don't come any closer! Shit! You bastard!
Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times in the air, and the incinerator was split by the creak of a bullet. His body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt in the air across his body. Fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. And his strength was gone, his legs crumbled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor.
Finally, you're...
Snake wasn't done.
Kill you.
Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. Half crawled, half slid towards Ace. One bloody arm wrapped around Ace's left leg.
You won't
Around his
get
leg.
away.
And the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone.
You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off me! Let me go, damn you!
Kicked the snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. Made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once the snake had ensnared his prey, rarely did it release it.
This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together.
What?
Incineration will begin in 2 minutes.
Yeah, damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You could be saved. Just let me go.
Pathetic. Begging for your life.
Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices and their words were strained.
You can stop now.
Yes! He's right, Snake. You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here.
You have to come with us. We have to leave together.
They turned towards them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. And he smiled a sad sort of smile.
But I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me.
Shut up! Be quiet!
I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife, she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go.
Incineration will begin in
But how?
1 minute.
God damn it! Shit, we gotta go!
Everyone ran towards the exit. 7 plus 5, 12 plus 8, 20. Okay, that's 2. Or you have a 6, 28. Or 8. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. White lines down Snake's cheeks, where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow the clear
Junpei, what
lump
are
in
you
his throat.
doing? You have to get out of here now.
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. Could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller. Then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto a shaken, paralyzed mind. Junpei's rational mind was gone, driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor of Snake and Ace. Or he tried to.
Don't be an idiot, Junpei!
Felt a hand grab him from behind. It was 7. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arm to the sides, and he was hauling him bodily back towards the door.
No! I have to help Snake! Snake! Get off of me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6,
Damn it, I don't get a choice, kid! Don't blame me for this, alright?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down.
5, 7, 12, 8, 20. Did they get? No. So right now we're at Digital Reader 2. Am I dying here? Then you add the 0, which is 6. So we got 26. We get to 28. Unless they took aces, but I don't know how they would take aces. And if you take 9, you get 37. Still equals 0. Junpei felt Seven's fist buried itself deep in his stomach, and his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. Clem shut behind them. Junpei struggled with shaky feet, glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. Only the first side the kid went through. Never mind. Small window cut into it. Inside he could see Ace and Snake.
Scared! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero!
For some reason, I just assumed the door locked behind him. That's my bad. That makes sense to me. He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. Looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. Eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk towards the open door. The hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey, wait! Junpei!
Junpei, where are you going?
Blinked with the voices broke through silence. Stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June.
You're gonna bring them here?
How?
Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait, alright?
Began to walk again. Looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. Stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. Turned again. He knew where he was going.
On the way here. If I can get it to work, then maybe...
For long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. Pushed it and the door opened.
Yes.
Junpei was in the large hospital room.
June! Santa!
He caught calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. Couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. Stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there, on the red carpet in the center of the room, June. No codenames didn't matter any longer.
Connie!
She was Canny. Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room towards her. Stumbled to a stop. Down in her body, laying so still on the floor, he felt like icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still so very still.
It can't be. It's impossible.
Slowly, Junpei bent down toward her. His hands shook as he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. Forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him. Junpei reached down and gently, very gently lifted her up.
Connie, are you alright?
Jumpy?
What happened to your teeth? They're gone. Her face was pale, her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They were stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold, very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel her heart pounding frantically in his chest.
Connie, what the hell happened to you? You feel...
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was very faint.
I might not make it.
No way. No way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you. I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much. For everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy.
Not gonna be a jerk, really, or to go through with this.
I was crap. You're gonna
Let's have the
see me
submarine.
again lots more times. You just gotta hang on. All right, Connie?
Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white hot flame. Looked down at Akane. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke.
You son of a bitch! Where are you hiding?
Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice.
What the hell are you talking about? No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Connie. Why? The wrong path? What are you talking about? I told you! I am not gonna lose! What?
Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it Zero?
Wait here. I'll be right back, I promise.
She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. Hall was empty. Nothing moving anywhere.
Where are you? It doesn't matter. I need to get Connie out first.
He didn't want to leave Connie alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back into the chapel.
Connie?
Wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before,
Oh God.
and now she was gone.
No. No. Where is she? Connie. 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 Connie!
His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more. There was nothing. No answer. The voice faded away and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. That was when he noticed it.
Huh?
Strange smell, one he's smelled before.
This is... white smoke.
9 seconds later, Junpei's mind wrinkled out. Or winked out. Sorry. We'll just play out real quick. Dunka, da dunka, da dunka. The end, or does this path open back up at some point? Achievement unlocked. Chance of loss is not 0. Solve the 0 lost ending in 999. Achievement unlocked. A sixth sense of what's coming. Saw all previews